Hi guys! So today we are going to be making some really cute nails for my wedding. They're essentially going to be a galaxy theme, really sparkly, really cute for all my bridesmaids. I've already done the navy blue version with the white, and today I'm making the white with the navy blue. So they're going to be sets of 20 because obviously I don't know what size my bridesmaids' nails are. So this is going to be one hand, this is going to be the other, and people can choose what sizes they need from each of them. So we're going to start off by just using one hand. I'm just going to, with a, I think it's 180 file, I'm just going to file the little nubbly bits that are at the bottom, making them nice and smooth. I'm actually so excited for my wedding. It's coming so soon. It's another 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks. And I'm gonna be getting married, and it's gonna be this whole slumber party theme where everyone comes wearing pajamas. My partner and I thought, you know what? We've both been married before. Why make a traditional fancy wedding up again when we can go crazy and do something random and weird just to match us? And fun and exciting. My children are excited. My son's going to be walking me down the aisle because my dad isn't really in the picture. So my eldest son, who's 15, he's going to be walking me down the aisle, which is really exciting. And then I've got my daughter, who is a junior bridesmaid. She's essentially going to be holding one of the rings and help my 4-year-old walk down the aisle, who's going to be holding the other ring. So it's going to be so fun. Anyway, now that that hand's done with the dusting and the filing, did I miss one? So what I do is, because I don't like to have a lot of dust in my area, I actually hate it because it gets everywhere. I use a little bit of isopropyl alcohol and I'll just wipe over this section just to gather up all the little particles of dust because I hate it. And then I've got a dapping dish and I have a really old crappy brush that's literally like frayed and falling apart and gross. And I get some acetone. Best little trick ever. You put the bottle to the brush and it runs down the brush into the dapping dish so you don't end up with a crazy amount of liquid everywhere, which is what I used to do. Please mind my nails. They're about 2.5, maybe 3 weeks old. They're not the best. They've all started to grow out. I did hand draw that though, which I think was really cute. I'm gonna keep these on until closer to the wedding. A couple of days before the wedding, I'll be doing some Cynthia Erivo inspired nails. For the 2025 Grammys, she did these beautiful long moon starry night type nails, and I love them, and so we're going to use her nails as inspiration to make my wedding nails. So with this acetone, I just paint a little bit on the top of the nail tip, and then I just kind of scratch it around in little circles, little squiggles, little circles. And what it does, I don't know if you can see, it kind of like melts the top layer slightly and makes it a little bit more rigid, which makes it so that when I do paint the gel on, it has something really good to adhere to it, kind of preps them. So much better than sanding. I used to sit here for like 20 minutes per nail set just sanding these nails, buffing them to take that clear shiny layer off, which used to create so much dust and mess. And if anyone else does gel nails, they'll know that gel will take on any particle of dust it picks up, and it is ridiculously hard to stop it from happening. So less dust I have to deal with, the better. And I don't know if you can hear, but we've got some cars going up and down my road today that are so loud. I get trucks and motorbikes, and because I live on a foreshore, it gets very busy and very loud. And it just so happens that the window behind my salon is against the main road, and it can get very loud. So if it is too loud, my apologies. Can't really do anything about it right now. Right, so now these are all chemically etched. They're all texturized, little nubbies have been filed off and everything. Now I'm going to go in with my Missity base coat. Missity, I absolutely love this stuff. I got it from Temu. I currently have an entire wall with the entire product line. I love it. They're almost like a Korean gel. They're so smooth and thick. The consistency is amazing. The color payoff is amazing. Absolutely love these gels. Might actually do all 5 at the same time. So I pretty much just put a glob on all of them and then paint them on. I'm actually so excited for this wedding. We're going to have a big backdrop with stars and moons. As I said, everyone's wearing their pajamas. All the bridesmaids and groomsmen are wearing pajamas. The colour theme is navy and white. So the girls are wearing navy and the men are wearing white. I spent almost 2 weeks because I bought all the men's clothes from, I think it was Shein or Temu. We're doing this very budget wedding. It's not going to be a very expensive wedding. But all the clothes were just completely white. All the men's clothing was completely white. And the girls' clothing, which I bought from Shein, have white trimming around them. Beautiful, beautiful pajamas. But I decided that I wanted the men to match the women, so I took thank you to my best friend's mother, who loaned me her sewing machine, and I took about 2 weeks to make my own trim from scratch, and then pull apart all the seams and re-sew all the trimming on all the pajamas. And there was 7 sets of pajamas to do, top and pants. So it was a bit of an effort, but we got it done. And it turned out so good. And I love them. So next we're going in with this JR White gel polish. This again is from Temu. Mind my fingerprint on the side. Again from, I think this was from Temu. Yeah, it was from Temu. It came in a set, a base set. So I have pretty much every colour of the rainbow that I can possibly think of. But again, these are very Korean-ish nail polishes and they are lovely. But I'm going to put on a very thin layer of this polish. I will be putting two layers of this polish. same time. So as I said, I'm doing 2 layers of this polish, but I'm doing very thin layers because if I do too thick, because of how opaque this nail polish is, this gel polish is, it doesn't set all the way through if you have it too thick, and you'll get wrinkling and bulging, and I absolutely hate that because I hate having to deal with it. So we're doing very thin layers to make sure that it sets all the way through. It seems to only really happen with the really dark polishes or the whites that are really opaque. The really creamy ones it tends to happen with, but I don't really find this brand does it a lot. The other brand that I have does it a lot more. So far I have made, I think I'm up to 5 sets out of the grand total of 9 that I need to make, including my own, but 8 in general. I'm doing 4 of each. For my girls, there's going to be 4 white and 4 blue. I've got 7 bridesmaids. Obviously one of them is a maid of honor, so her nails are going to be exactly the same design, but they're going to be slightly longer than the other ones, and she gets little gems on her stars just to make her stand out a little bit more and feel a little bit special. And then my daughter, she's going to have pretty much the same but in blue and a different shape, and she's going to have little gems on her stars. So there's not going to be that much different, but all the bridesmaids will be having medium almond, and the maid of honor and my daughter will be having, the maid of honor is going to be stiletto, long stiletto, and my daughter is going to have medium square. She's really into the square shape right now. I tried to convince her to have long, but she doesn't want to wear long to school after the wedding, which is understandable. She plays a lot of sports, a lot of basketball and stuff with her boyfriend and her friends, so she doesn't like to have her nails too long. I'm actually really shocked that she's even agreed to wear nails. She doesn't normally wear them. I have to try and convince her pretty much every time that I want to do a set of nails, and I can't be bothered doing them on myself because I can do better art, obviously, on other people. When I make nails either on stands like this as press-ons or for other people, I tend to make the art a little bit more intricate and detailed because I can do it all with my right hand, where if I'm putting it on myself, it's a little bit harder to do all that detail with my left hand because I'm not that good. I mean, I can do it, but not that well. Doesn't come out as clean and as crisp as if I was to do it with my right hand. What I tend to do is what I've done with these Ailstorm nails that I'm currently wearing. We went to a concert with my best friend's best friend's father and my partner, and we went to a concert, and it's a pirate heavy metal band called Ailstorm, which was awesome. The concert was awesome. It was amazing. But I wanted to make a set of nails for the concert to match, hence why I have this really cute little squid skull and crossbones, and I actually wrote Ailstorm. But what I did is I used a piece of clear plastic and I drew out the Ailstorm design, and I painted this, covered it in a base coat and peeled it off like a sticker and put it on, which is great. It worked really, really well for this one. Obviously this was my second one. I did this one first and this one second. This one, when I went to put it on and apply it, I ended up with a lot of little bubbles. I don't know if you can see them. I ended up with a lot of little bubbles underneath the handmade sticker that I made, which kind of drives me bananas. Where this one, it didn't really happen to. But you live and you learn. But that's what I tend to do if I am going to make art on my right hand, because it is just so much easier painting with my right than my left. I tend to get all the polish on there, and then once it's completely covered, I'll go over it and smooth it out. Try and get those lines less. Good thing about this gel polish as well is it self levels and levels out a lot of those lines really, really well. Right, now that they're all done and they've all got their base coats on, yes, you can still kind of see through it. Probably needed a third coat, but at the same time, it's going to have another 2 coats on top of it with a cat's eye polish, so don't really need it. This is the cat's eye polish I'll be using today. Again, I think this is a Temu buy. Pretty much all my gel polishes come from Temu. I love them. They're amazing. They're great cost, great quality. I've used almost all of this, so I literally am scraping the bare barrel of it because it's almost all gone. But it is absolutely gorgeous. It's like a silvery, but then it's got like these purple, green, blue shifts to it, which are absolutely amazing. There's like little flakes in it. They're so beautiful. So I'll be putting 2 coats of this on. Be putting 2 coats of this on, which you don't really need to put too much of this stuff on per coat because it covers pretty well. But you need to put 2 coats to really make the metallic pieces stand out. I've got this nice big, what is it called? Magnet. So I'll just shift some of the metal particles. I shift it kind of to the middle, and then I'm trying to make almost like a center aura so that when it moves up and down, I don't know if you can see that, the shift moves up and down. So I'll be doing that to all the nails, and I'll be doing that with 2 coats. So I'm kind of stressed now because I still have, I've only done 1 hand, which is 10 nails, and I still have another hand to do, which is another 10 nails, but then I still have a whole nother set to do, and I don't know if I'm going to have enough of this gel polish. I'm like seriously like scraping every ounce of this gel polish out that I can. So now I've done 2 coats on this 1 hand. Isn't it beautiful? Oh my god. I just love it. So now I've done 2 coats. It's time to do the gorgeous art. Now I've just got to find the right one that I'm copying, because obviously they're exactly the same. So all the hands are going to be exactly the same. I mean, I'm not the best at making it 100% spot on, but they're pretty close. Same type of design on all of them. So I'll use this one. So this, what I'm going to use for the stars, is same brand, JR. Again, Temu buy. Amazing. I love that they're 15 mls too. 15 mils is like the best. I got Beetles originally, which was an Amazon product. I bought 66 different colours from Beetles, and they were 5 mils. What are you supposed to do with 5 mils? Especially when I make so many nails, so often, so much. I'm constantly in my salon doing nails. I'm either doing them for friends or family or myself or my daughter or to sell, or constantly doing them. And it's freaking what's 5 mils gonna do? I also have these liner gels from Temu, which I absolutely love. They're lovely and thick. They're perfect. This is the white that I had used on the blue, because this white gel isn't opaque enough. This is like bright. Only need one coat on that. But I don't have a navy, so I'm using the navy gel polish. I'll also be using this, which is my 25mm brush. Very skinny, very tiny. You can barely even see it. Absolutely love this. Again, pretty sure this was a Temu buy. Not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure it was. I also use the lid of these. They're perfect for making circle impressions, which is essentially what I use for the moon on this. I use it for the moon on this design. My brain did not want to work then. Sorry, my bad. So we're going to do 2 stars. So do one in the top corner and one in the bottom. I make sure that there's plenty of gel in these little dots so that it makes it easier for it to be able to be spread out. Pro tip too, when you're using these brushes, make sure you really work that into the gel polish, into the brush, not just dipping it in like that. You got to work it in between all those bristles. That is the best way to get a nice solid line without it being horrible. So we get the tip in there. I always drag backwards. I don't know why. It always just seems to shake less. And we flick it out. Get a nice big long beautiful line. And then we spin the nail around and do the same thing downwards. I will admit though, my daughter does 10 times better stars than what I do. I don't know if it's because I drink a lot of caffeine, so I shake a lot. But her stars just seem so much more precise. They're even, they're straight. I did try and convince her to help me with this design, but of course I'm too busy at school. So, to be honest, it's more, I'm too busy with my boyfriend. I want to talk to him for hours and hours on the phone, even though I saw him for hours and hours at school. Bloody typical. So I do that, do the stars, nice lines, beautiful. And I get a tiny little bit on this. This is literally the smallest dotting tool that I own. It is tiny. Like right now, these nails actually look so much bigger than what they actually are. They're tiny. And I do 3 little dots, a couple of little dots here, one down here, I do one over here, one over here. I think that there's one over here, and that's it. And then I put that in to cure for 60 seconds and move on to the next one. Sorry if I'm not talking very much. It's actually really hard to do really fine nail art when you're talking. It makes you move too much. Tell you what, it's really hard to see when I've got lights. Okay, so this one that I'm doing, so though the first one has 8-pointed star, the second one has 3 stars, but only 2 of them are 8-pointed, and the third one's only a 4-point. This is how I end up with gel all everywhere. Thank goodness for this silicone mat, my actual table, if you saw my table underneath this silicone mat, this is how I end up with such a horrendous looking table, even though it's clean. It's because I just dropped my brushes and I end up with dots and stuff everywhere. But on the silicone, it's really easy to wipe off. I just need a gigantic silicone mat that just covers my entire nail table. So then well, that was a bit wonky. That one was a bit winky wonky. To fix that, I just grab a lint-free wipe with a little bit of ice prep alcohol to fix it, and I just wipe it away. And we'll try that one again. I do have a nail brush, like a brush holder. Problem is, I always tend to forget about it. And I never end up using it. And a lot of the time, I have long nails, like I do today. Or longer. Sometimes I have even longer than what I've got today. And it makes it really hard to get the nails off the nail stand when I have enormous nails on. So I tend not to use it. I really should, in all honesty. I really should. I'll probably get it out in a minute. Because I probably will benefit from having it, but I've got to learn how to do it with long nails because it just makes it really hard. And I know how bad I'm actually shaking right now, so these stars are not coming out perfectly, but I mean, technically, what star is perfect? Considering they're all just burning little planets miles away, burning little pieces of rock miles away. When you think about it, it's not like it's this shape in reality. Okay, and then we'll do our little dots. So I'll do a couple up here, a couple in the middle, a couple down here. Got one here and one here. Beautiful. Thank you. I'm going to try and find my nail holder. See, this is my brush holder. And the problem is when I have my brushes laying on it, I tend to find it hard to like grab at it, or I hit the bench, hit my table, should I say. I said I have a tendency of finding it hard to grab them off this without knocking everything and end up making a mess anyway, but it still probably is better that I don't. So they came out gorgeous. And what I tend to do, just to thicken up the nails to make sure they're not like too flexible, too bendy, even though these ones are pretty good because they cure harder in the lamp because they're gel, I like to put on a couple of layers of base gel over my design. And what that helps to do is, obviously these have dots on them, so they tend to get, I don't know if you can see it, they tend to get like a little bit of texture where the bumps are, where it like raises up slightly, and I actually hate it. It drives me insane. So I put some base coat on, and it just kind of fills in those bumps, kind of evens it all out. Because if I just went straight in with the top layer, those bumps would still stand out. I mean, even then, sometimes I do the dots a little bit too heavy, and they tend to stay raised anyway, but I would prefer it to look overall smoother than having those really big textured pieces. I absolutely hate it. Can't stand it. Drives me insane. So I tend to only do 2 nails at a time when I'm doing nail art, because otherwise I end up completely stuffing up the whole design and get all confused, especially when there's 10 different designs on one hand. I tend to get very confused with it and I will stuff it up. Because if I don't know if you notice with these, let me open it so it's not that big shiny bit. Each nail for this is one hand, and on the other side is the second hand. Each nail is different. Each nail is a different size. So we've got 0 to 9. So there's 10 sizes. So you can choose whichever one fits your fingers, but each one has a different nail design on it. And it gets very confusing. I've already stuffed up 3 times with the 3 different sets, ever so slightly. So they're not all absolutely identical, but they're very, very close. One of them, this one I did with 2 stars. Don't know how I did that when the last 3 pinky nails have 3 stars. Don't know how I did that. And at one stage, this goes 2, 3, 2 with the stars. At one of them, I did 2, 2, 3. Again, don't know how I did it. So I tend to like to do only 2 nails at a time so that doesn't happen, especially when I'm doing big full sets, because I do. I get sidetracked, distracted by something. So, with these nails, as I said, I wanted them nice and strong and sturdy. I don't want them flimsy. They're solid. They're big, hard ones like what's on my nails. They're hard, almost acrylic strength, but gel. So they've got the gel tip. Then it has 1 layer of base gel, 2 layers of the white gel, 2 layers of the cat's eye gel, obviously the 1 layer of the nail art. Then it has 3 layers of base gel on top of the nail art, which no bumps, nice and smooth, all fixed, all leveled out, which is what I really like to see. And then I go in with lavender violet. I have to admit, one of the best top coat rubber base gel matte top coat glow polish 5-in-1 builder gel combination sets that I've ever bought. My mum used to use this. My mum's a qualified nail tech, and she used to use this when I was growing up. So they've been around for a long time. Lavender violets, absolutely love them. 100% recommend. As you can see, there's a little 3 on the top of here because this is now my 3rd top coat. I buy them in 3s and I go through so much of it. It's lovely and thick. It's super shiny. It goes on perfectly. You don't end up getting streaking or separating. Nothing. And it is so shiny and beautiful. And I absolutely love it. So then I go in with my top coat, make sure everything is sealed into perfection, and then we stick that in the lip. And at least doing 2 nails at a time, I know that these ones, even if, because they've got a top coat on, which nothing can penetrate a top coat, I know that if I accidentally bump it with the nail brush or bump it with the other nail, it's just going to wipe off. It won't have an effect on it. I know they are done. They're not going to get problematic, injured, hurt, yucky. They're going to be great. But yes, 100% recommend. I actually have to get more. I bought 3 of each. I bought the dehydrator, the primer, the rubber base gel, the 5-in-1 builder gel, the glow-in-the-dark gel, the matte top coat, and the no white top coat. And I love every single one of them. These nails currently are glow-in-the-dark, and when I say they glow-in-the-dark, they glow. It's like having lights on my fingers. Actually, that's what my son had said. He said that I have lights on my fingers because I pulled into his bedroom when he was having a nap. See, that's what happens. You get little bits of gel, uncured gel. Oh, no, that one's cured on there, which would be because I'm sticking my hand in and out the length. No, that ain't going nowhere. Oh, hang on. Yeah, it's coming off. See, top coat, wouldn't even know. What was I saying? My ADD's hitting hard. Oh yes, I went to go get my son out of his bedroom after his nap. And obviously it's really dark in his room. We've got blackout curtains and everything because he naps during the day. And that's the first thing he said when I walked in. He's like, Mum, you have lights on your fingers, which I think is absolutely adorable. And there you go. They're all shiny and sparkly and beautiful. I love them. As I said, my daughter's ones, I've done all the stars. My daughter's and my my maid of honor, sorry. These are their nails. They're just slightly different. So she's got little gems on her stars. And little gems on her stars. So that's my daughter's, and these are my maid of honors. And they just that extra little pizzazz, because just to make them feel just that little bit more special. I'm very lucky that I live in New South Wales, which is on the other side of the country, to where we're having our wedding. We're having our wedding in WA, in Perth. And I'm very lucky that my best friend / maid of honor, she comes over here regularly, and I always end up doing her nails. And I'm very lucky that I've done her nails so many times, because I actually have all her nail sizes. So I know exactly what size to make her fingernails. And obviously I have my daughter here, so I can size her nails up perfectly there. So I only had to do 10 pieces for them because I know their nail sizes, and it made it so much easier to do. And I made them so that, I don't know if you noticed with this set, because there is 10 nails per hand to choose from size wise, I've had to come up with 10 different designs. But there is what I call fill-in nails, where I've done 5 designs that are a little bit more special, a little bit more fancy. And then I've done 5 designs that are just stars with spots. They're not anything special. So these ones that I'm currently doing are just like the fill-in ones. Stars with spots. They're not anything special or flash. But sorry, that was my phone just going off, giving me a notification. But I just lost my train of thought completely. So typical of me. I will be doing the special ones. They're coming up in the next nail. So that's that one. So the first one is a big moon. So I get this. It's really warm in this room. I need to turn my air conditioning on. So I literally just dab some of the gel on the end of this nail art brush lid, and I use it as a stencil to make a round circle for a moon, which tends to work pretty bloody well, thank goodness. I mean, I'd be annoyed if I had to hand do it all myself, and I do end up touching it up. See, it makes a circle. I do always end up touching it up because obviously it's not going to be perfect, but it just gives me that perfect guideline to just be able to perfect that circle a little bit with a nail art brush. So I get my circle exactly the way I want it. Sorry if I'm not talking too much for this part because it is very tedious. And I even stop breathing a lot of the time, and then I end up panting and losing my breath really bad. But I make the circle as perfect as can be. See what happens? I get gel all over my fingers. I really should be doing this with gloves on. It's funny though, because when I'm doing this type of nail art, as in on a press on, that I'm not doing on someone's hands, I don't use gloves, which is kind of stupid. But when I'm doing someone else's hands, I use gloves. It's stupid. So now I've got that perfect, that nice outer edge of that nice and solid. I use the same crappy brush that I used right at the start, because it's not for anything, it's just essentially for spreading this blue around a little bit. Because it's such a hard bristle, it works really well to give it some texture. So I use that and I go around and spread that line inwards, the gel that's on that line inwards, to fill in that. And the good thing about having the white underneath, it makes it look more moon-like, because it makes it look like the light is reflecting into like spots and dips in the planet or moon that you're essentially making. Gives it some shadowing and some texture, which I absolutely love, and it just makes it look so much more realistic. So now it has like a little shadow around the outside. I don't know if you can see that. And some kind of texture to the center of it. So when it has a top coat over it and it's all smooth, it literally looks like the texture and the color of the moon, obviously in blue. So I set that so that I don't touch it. In the meantime, I'm going to get some isopropyl alcohol, which I've just got in this little pump bottle, and clean my fingers up, because obviously I did make a mess with that. And I think that is the cause of it going on my fingers, was that it was on the outside of the lid that I was using. So I clean the outside, and then obviously really pointy now, works great. I literally shove it in there and swivel it around, and it cleans the inner part of it. Get it all in there, clean all that out. And essentially I do the same with the other end to make another moon. But it works really, really well. Right, so now that I've done this beautiful little moon, this one only requires 3 little stars, and I'm pretty sure these are only 4-point stars. I will have to check in a second. Yep, they're just 4-point stars, which is easy. Let me just go and drink, drink. Seriously need to have less coffee in the mornings, I think, because I am shaking so bad. I mean, I don't even know if you can see that on camera, to be honest. But I'm shaking pretty badly. It's funny because I actually used to drink so much more caffeine. I used to have a lot of energy drinks and so much more caffeine than what I consume nowadays. But I've noticed as I get older, it's really starting to make me shake and it's really affecting me. And then this has a couple of dots down here. And it has a dot over here. So hard to see under these lights with this case closed because the shine on the case and then the shine on the nail makes it very, very difficult. And where I've put my dots. And then that'll go in the light. And in the meantime, I've been base coating this one, so it's already had one coat. This is its second base coat to even everything out. And it's funny because I actually do this with all my nails to make sure that they're nice and strong, but I don't actually go through a lot of base coat. You'd think I would. I go through more top coat than what I do base coat, and I think that's because I use a lot of gems in my nail art, like big bulky gems, and because I use those big bulky gems, it takes a lot of gel, which I put rhinestone glue, which I absolutely love. I put that underneath it to make it stick to the nail, but then I use top coat to go around it or all inside my gems and everything like that. Not my gems, my charms, to make sure they stay there and they're solid. And then we'll put the third and last base coat on this one. So if you end up through this video seeing any nails back on the stands, it's because I've already pre-done this off camera. And they've already had their 3 base gels and their top coat. Which now this one is ready for its first layer of base gel, which will start to even everything out and strengthen everything up. That's layer 1. So this one is now ready for its top coat, final coat of gel polish. Seals and locks everything in, makes everything not sticky, which I shouldn't say that it's sticky all the time. The base coat is very sticky. Don't get me wrong, the base coat is ridiculously sticky. But this JR, no sticky layer. The Missity, the actual colours, the polishes of this, no sticky layer. This is the polish that I used on the blue. So what I did is I did this navy, 81, of the JR from Temu. I did pretty much the same as this white version. I prepped them all, put a clear base gel on them all, and then I did 2 coats of this navy, again very thinly, because it's such a thick creamy consistency, so you have to do it like really thin. So 2 layers of that, and then I put this beautiful blue cat's eye gel polish over it, which is absolutely to die for. And unfortunately, I don't have a white cat's eye gel polish that is just plain like that in this Miss Missity brand, which this is number 104 from 165. Just Missity. So when I say I have the whole product line, I literally have the whole product line. So that one has officially had its top coat and it is all done beautiful. I'll stick that back on there. This one has only had one base layer. So we'll do another 2 base layers and then a top coat. That's one. And this is the second one. Well, essentially the third layer, but the second of the 2 that I needed. And then this is the top coat. Final top coat. God, it's so shiny and sparkly and pretty. Like literally, the camera does not do it justice. So while that is in the light, I'll show you what I mean by the specialty nails. So I've essentially made this one where it's the 3 stars. I've made that a specialty nail. The moon, well, should I say the half moon, half planet, whatever it is. The shooting star, comet looking thing. The full moon planet one. And this Cancerian sign, which my partner, who I'm just about to marry, is a Cancer. And my best friend, who is my maid of honor, she is also a Cancerian, so it's also one of the easiest ones to paint. So I decided, you know what, Cancer it is. So they're the special nails: the 3 stars, the half moon, the shooting star, the big moon, the Cancer sign. They're the 5 special ones, and they're also the nails sizes that, if you look at a normal size chart from extra small to extra large, they're the nails that get used the most in all the sizes. So they're the nails that are most likely to be on most people's hands, are those 5 there. Obviously, I've got, 8 different bridesmaid nail sets. So some of them are going to have this one, some won't. Some will have this one, some will have this one. They will be different on their hands, but I just wanted to make sure that those 5 are the average ones that are widely used. And then the fill-in nails, I call them, are just plain 2 stars, 1 star, and they've just got dots on them. So easy, just fill-in ones. So you've seen a couple with the fill-ins. So these 2 are your fill-ins. This one that I've done now, which has just had its last top coat, that's a special nail. And then we will have the shooting star here, so another special nail, and then we'll move on to the moon and the constellation on these ones, and then these ones will be fill-in nails. So I'll do these 3 with you and show you how to do those ones, how I did those ones, and then I'll do these ones off camera and show you the final result of the one hand once I'm done. So this time we're going to do this last one of these 5, and I'm going to use this dotting tool, which obviously is a little bit bigger on both sides, but this is the one that I'm going to use, the nice big one. Why are you having so much trouble focusing? Random. So with this one, I'm making the shooting star. So I put a nice big dot of gel. See, this is why I find it hard with this. And then I get this with a little bit of gel on the end. And I essentially drag to make the kind of comet shooting star tail. I kind of bring it out slightly on the sides, curve it out a little bit, make some of the tail a little bit longer. And boom, we got a shooting star. So I'll set that and then come back. While that one's in the lamp, we'll move on to the next one, which is the little moon, the little full moon. I'm once again using the lid of my nail art brush as a guide for, just in case you didn't realise, things have moved around a little bit. My phone died and I wasn't able to continue recording, so I finished the other hand and I'll just finish the rest of these nails off with you guys, and then I'm going to bed because now it's almost 8 o'clock p.m. So we're going back to the shooting style one. I just hope I'm not going to get sloppy with my art now that I'm actually so tired of doing this, because I literally have spent all day painting nails. I've done so many sets now. And once this set is done, I officially only have one more set to go. Thank God. The most annoying thing that happened while I was not able to film is that I actually ran out of my nail polish. I've officially used the entire bottle of nail polish on this white set of nails, which just goes to show how many layers I've actually put on these nails. Someone do the math for me. I think what we originally figured was like something as crazy as 1,400 layers of gel polish over the course of 8 sets of nails, and 6 of them are 20-piece nail sets. So that's a lot of gel polish when you think about it. But it happens. So on this one, I'm going to do the constellation, which is simply just dots. Dots of gel polish. They're not super specific because it kind of looks like the constellation in my head. And it's recognizable because the 2 Cancerians that I've done it for recognized what it is, which I'm happy about. But that's the best they're gonna get at this point in time. I'm not going for perfection on specifics. I'm going for it to look really good. So I think they look pretty good. So these ones are literally just dots. I just make sure that I've got enough gel in them, in those dots, so that I can make lines dragging out from them. So there has to be some gel polish in there, a decent amount of gel polish in there, so that when you drag it from the dot, you're going to pick up enough gel polish. Also, sorry about the lighting. As I said earlier today, it was daytime and now it is nighttime. So even though I have 2 overhead lights plus a big LED moonlight, the lighting has definitely still changed and it is not as bright in here, which kind of kills my eyeballs. But there we have a cute little cancer. Constellation. Constellation, whatever. So that's that one done. We'll smack 2 or 3 base coats over it to make sure it's all nice and even. It has just been a day. Started by dropping off my son at school, and he's in preschool. He's in 3-year-old preschool, which he absolutely loves. And then I had to get some things from the shop. Then I came home and started doing some nails. And I'm still doing nails at this time of the night because I've had to stop and make dinner. I had to go pick my son up from preschool, which he had a very emotional day today. I don't know why. And then I made some dinner, which we had chicken and noodle stew, which, considering Cyclone Alfred up in Queensland, we're getting hit pretty harshly with the leftover weather, the outside weather. So it's rainy and it's wet, but it's humid. It's like the weather can't figure out what it's doing, but it's windy. It's like just a tropical summery storm, but we're just getting hit with the outskirts, leftover energy of it, which is fun. But because of that, it's wet and yuck, so we're like, stew it is. So we did that, and then I had to shower and put my little man to bed, which my gorgeous daughter decided was a perfect opportunity to make me a coffee, because that's how amazing my daughter is. She's like, you know what, Mum, you've had a big day. I made you a coffee. Because she's so sweet. And then I'll get these done. I pre-prepped these. So what I ended up doing, before we get into that, this nail polish, which is the one, nope, this one, which is the one I've been using. Can you tell that it's empty? There's literally like nothing left. I ended up, I don't know if you can see, it's got like these purpley green blue shifts in it, little mylar pieces or glitter pieces that have shifts in it. So what I ended up doing is putting a little bit of acetone in it, because I literally had like nothing left. So I put a tiny bit of acetone in there, gave it a shake, and was able to finish putting the cat's eye on this set of nails. But I now have one last set of white nails that I have to do. And I don't know if you can tell, I had to put a different gel polish. I'm not overly worried though, because both are white, as you can tell, but one's just got like this bluey, greeny, purple shift, and one has like a pinky purple shift, pinky purpley orange shift to it, but they're both white. So, I mean, unless you put them side by side, don't you really gonna notice it that much, hopefully. But that's this one, and it looks like I'm just gonna have to spend more money and get some more. I love how it goes in and out of focus, because it's like, glitter, I can't do it. But obviously I've got plenty of that one left. So I have enough to do that one last set. And that'll just go to my, what I call my princess bridesmaid. She's my little Disney princess bridesmaid. She is my partner's stepsister. And she has so much love for all things Disney and princess, to the point that her entire wedding was Princess Disney themed. She had little Mickey Mouse bags and bright pink dress, and it was amazing. So she's my princess bridesmaid, and they'll go to her because I know that she'll appreciate the pink over the blue. And then I'll give you a little sneak peek as to what I've been doing. I got specially made slippers. This one says baby bridesmaid. specially made gorgeous little slippers. So all my bridesmaids had a set of them that have their names, their nicknames written on them. So my one says Mrs. H, because I'm marrying a H. And then I've got Princess Bridesmaid, and I've got Taffy Bridesmaid, and I've got Baby Bridesmaid, and Junior Bridesmaid, and Beckstar Bridesmaid. I've got all the nicknames written on there. Actually, I think Taffy Bridesmaid is... Did I do Bridesmaid? Yeah, I did. Or did I do Maid of Honour? Don't know if I did Bridesmaid or Maid of Honour for Taffy, because she's my Maid of Honour bestie. But... and they get to keep all them, and I'll put up a picture in the corner of what the girls and the guys are going to be wearing. Just bear in mind the girls have white trim, and the men I've put navy blue trimming on it, sewn navy blue trimming on it, so it doesn't just look plain white. And so they'll have customized slippers, their own set of pajamas, customized nails, and then I'm making some jewelry. I'm making some really cute necklace and earring sets that are done with like a champagne pearl, which are gorgeous, and they'll match mine because I've got pearl earrings that say bride and I've got a pearl necklace, but they're very fine, very thin. It's just a very thin piece of clear, kind of stretchy wire, and then I've made it so that the pearls sit spaced out across the entire necklace. I'm very feminine. Really excited for it. Now this is the last one for this set, and it is going to be a little moon. Was going to start making this one ages ago, but didn't end up doing it. So I used the end of, see, I'm tired, my brain doesn't even want to work, end of my nail art brush lid, dip it in some of the gel. I'm going to make a little circle with that. See, oh, so good. Such a good idea. Just works so perfectly. And then I always do a touch up to make sure that it is properly symmetrical, properly circle, because trying to get something completely round on a non-flat surface, because obviously it's not flat, is so hard to make it look even. But this time of night, I don't even care that much. Then I got my handy dandy crappy brush, dunking it in some gel polish, and we just kind of spread out this line into the center and kind of fill all that colour in. Do bear in mind I do like a little bit of texture in it, so I don't want it to look completely coloured in. I like it to have a little bit of texture to it, so it looks like a planet or a moon, or, you know, I feel like there's a tiny little bit there. As you can tell, I use my nails a lot in regards to gel. As you can tell, I've got a piece of hair sticking on this one, thanks to my dog, which seems to be all over my chest. And as you can tell, all the gel, this one in particular, let me put this in the light. This one in particular tends to get a lot of gel on and around the tip of it. And that's mainly got to do with when I hold my gel, I hold it like this. And this now tends to always hit like that on this pole. So I always end up with gel polish under that now, no matter what I do. It's very annoying. And then, because I put my hand in the lamp to put the little stand with the nails on, cures straight away. It's very annoying. It's why I should wear gloves, but at the same time, if I wore gloves with these nails, they'd just pierce right through the glove anyway. So it wouldn't work. So that's that one all completely done. Woohoo! And that's this one completely done. So we got this one. We're just going to do a couple of cutesy little stars, little 4-pointer stars. One here and one down here. And then we'll drag it out. I love the 4-pointed stars over the 8-pointed stars. The 8-pointed stars are killer. Because, as I said, you just have no idea how tiny these are. These itty bitty thin lines, they look so much bigger on camera. But this little line that I'm doing here is about 1/2 centimetre long. If that. So it's a killer on the eyeballs, especially considering I'm a 4 eyes and I wear glasses every single day, all day. Does wear your eyes out a little bit. And then we got a couple of dots up here, a couple of dots down here, and one dot over here. I sound so Australian talking like that. Over here. So now this is the final top coat. Last nail, last coat of gel polish. So excited to finish this set. In all honesty, if I hadn't already done, what, 6 sets already? 7 sets? Yeah, if I hadn't already done 7 sets of nails, I probably would be more enthused by how these turned out. More happy and more excited because they actually are really pretty nails. And I think they're gorgeous. But at the same time, making so many of them, you kind of in on me. As bad as that sounds. Nah, in all honesty, I love them. I'm happy. It's just killer. It's killer on your back. It's killer on your eyeballs. It's killer on your hands and your wrists and your arms. But at the same time, it's so satisfactory. Like, I'm so satisfied by the end of it. And that is the last one, which we will put on here. And this is the final product, which I think they turned out so cute. They're so pretty. The sparkle. That cat eye polish, oh my god, I just want to eat it. So glittery. Sparkly. So yeah, that's how I made my wedding bridesmaid set. So cute, so cute. Thanks for watching. It was probably pretty boring. I tend to talk too much and I'm very repetitive, but thanks for taking the time to hang out with me. Really appreciate it. I enjoyed it. I had fun. In all honesty, it took me about 6 hours to make these, but there was a lot of stopping and starting, camera battery failing and picking up baby and yada, yada, yada. So on average, it takes me about an hour to do a 10-piece set. So about 2 hours to do a double-sided full 20-piece set, which isn't that bad technically. 2 hours. Really takes longer than that to put them on someone's fingers and do the art anyway, so I just think they turned out so nice. They're so pretty. They're literally gorgeous. I don't know which ones I like better, the blue or the white. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now. I'm going to go. I'm going to go to bed. Have a great night, day. Love yous.